Traders War Room proudly presents the daily video with the best trading and investing alerts anywhere on any platform. With up-to-date stock, chart, and market news, TWR is simply your one-stop shop. Monday Madness. Upcoming events. Plan your battles with Traders War Room classes. Join TWR on 9 April at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time and learn how to day trade utilizing the MACD and price action momentum with TWR instructor Shiner. The volatility in the market can cause investor frustration and even anger. So to stay calm, cool, and collected, you have to have a plan. That's where TWR has you covered. It seems easy, right? You buy here, you sell there, you're rich. Yeah, not exactly. Shiner's going to teach you guys what he's learned over 35 years of experience, specialized in momentum trading, and he's an expert at the MACD and price action strategy. Allow TWR not only to teach these proven strategies, but also how to use them so that you can win and make money. Register for class today. The link's in the description, or go to traderswarroom.com, and I will see you there in class. As always, let's go to war. Alert update. Went ahead and trimmed out of a decent trade we had. It was a BABA swing. Entered in 175, trimmed out, main position at 310. Gold, we've been eating off of this for a while. We went ahead and cleared out all except for runners. We entered this a while back at 82. Went ahead and trimmed the main position out today at 113. This was a position we did a hedge off of some puts that we had swinging over the weekend. The puts ended up going to garbage, but this we entered at 50. We went ahead and came out at $1 today. That's 2x. And we went ahead and trimmed out with Amazon, 99 puts, 6 April, entered in at 25, came out today at 40, got some runners left, hoping we get that dip tomorrow. Who said crypto's dead, man? We be killing crypto. Doesn't matter what it is, we're going to go ahead and make some money off it. Look at this trade, 106%. Day trade Algo has been going off like a hitch, man. Look at this NDX trade, good for 5%. And we were banging off of that Algo all day. Another NDX trade and an SPX trade. Went ahead and went for 15% on the NDX and at 6% on the SPX. $100 to $1,000 per day is possible as a Traders War Room market warrior. So quit wasting that money that's not making money and join TWR today. All links are in the description. Hot off the press. Top news today, Fed Governor Lisa Cook sees signs of easing inflation, says price pressures may continue from these quarters. Basically said inflation in the U.S. has started coming down, but price pressures could keep emanating from tight labor markets and the war in Ukraine and the reopening of China. So definitely something to watch. We'll be paying attention to this and seeing how the market reacts to the different volatility associated with inflation and price pressures. This will be interesting to see how it plays out in the U.S. markets tomorrow, but Asia stocks wobble as OPEC Plus output cuts and the weak U.S. data rise uncertainty. Asian stocks dithered on Tuesday as investors grappled with the inflation concerns in the wake of the surprise cuts from the OPEC Plus group's oil output targets, while Treasury yields retreated after frail U.S. manufacturing sector data. So we'll see how this plays out when we get the futures in the morning and pre-market and see how we react to the bell. And not top news, but noteworthy. So it's funny, Trump's indictment boosts odds he'll end up being the GOP presidential nominee in 2024. And they're already talking about you can bet on it, right? So it'll be funny to see how this happens on Tuesday. And AMC stock plunges 22% after the company agrees to a settlement term with opening up the 8 conversion. So definitely we'll see how AMC will end up playing tomorrow. A lot of volume could push into this and it could definitely spike up, but definitely not what investors in the AMC meme stock were wanting to hear. Hot trends. Here's how the markets closed today. The Dow remained up majority of the day, did climb down a little bit and kind of stabled out with a slow trickle up the rest of the day. Nasdaq plunged and stayed below the line, and the S&P barely etched out a positive green day, but you can see by the lines that after we got that initial push, after the morning rush, we had trouble coming back from that as it was a slow trickle to the upside. Here's your futures, and we're looking pretty mixed right now. I got a feeling that we're probably going to be looking for a little bit of a gap down tomorrow, just seeing how the Asian stocks close. It'll be interesting to see what we come up with in pre-market and if we can hold this pressure of elevated markets. But I think we're due for a cool down, so I'm expecting a little bit more of a pullback. Here was your sector performance, and no big surprise here. Energy was the big money maker today, as well as healthcare. And we saw consumer discretionaries and real estate take the laggers, with technology and industrials kind of staying flat for the day. Definitely, it'll be interesting to see what we're able to accomplish. We're starting to see a rotation of money out of the tech sector and into the energy and healthcare play. So it'll be funny to see if we can get more continuation in this, as energy and healthcare here recently have been getting beat up. So they were due for a spike, and we'll see if we got the juice to keep it going. For those of you that like pictures, here's a picture representation of the S&P 500. You can see where the big money was being spent and where the big money was being lost, as far as the bigger blocks being the majority of the market shares. And then, of course, the color, bright green being booming, green kind of finishing flat, bright red absolutely getting destroyed, and that kind of maroon color being kind of 50-50. Here's your flow, leaning more to the bear side than the bull side. Again, this will be kind of interesting to see what the kind of direction we take. There's a lot of sentiment going both ways still. Heavy bearish sentiment as far as the future long-term projections are with the stock market, but we're starting to get some of that sentiment that's really pushing the market. So, we'll see if we can keep the pressure on the upside going. But like I said at the very beginning of this, I think that we're due for a cool down period and that we got some down pressure coming, pulling us lower. Dark pool, no surprise, SPY taking the top dog space, Apple and Q coming in kind of almost even, and then you got Berkshire Hathaway coming in with a fourth slot. Here's some unusual options for you. And remember, what we like about the unusual options is this can kind of give us an idea of where the big money is looking for a trade. Normally, if you start to see, something kind of out of the norm trending in a direction and you got some big money going into it, you can kind of bet that maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but here soon, that the trend is going to start reversing or going in the direction of that particular flow. So it'll be interesting to see how some of these pay out. Obviously, Macy's is big on the ticker. XOM is something we're paying attention to. CVX with all the energy plays. And we like Oxy and some of the other tech plays as well, with Cisco, Apple, and a couple of the other ones. Here are your top gainers on the day. And we're paying attention to a few of these tickers that we like. We like NOGN. We also like AMST. And we're interested in seeing what VNet is doing as well. There's a few other ones that we enjoy. We've seen some push in the penny sector with the SCYX. Got some news in their pipeline coming out, so we're interested to see if that can hold that. And MMAT, we like those as well. So definitely paying attention to these, because what we like about the gainers is it shows us potentially things that might have some continuation pushing, as long as volume and price action stay stable. Here's your top losers, and anything that usually pushes above 30% to the downside, I like to look at those for potential bounce plays from rejection. So, typically you won't see a dramatic rebound, but a lot of times if you get like a 30 or 40% dump, it wouldn't be out of the norm to go ahead and recover, maybe in a day or two, recover some of that back. Not the whole, say 30 or 40% that lost, but, popping back up 10 or 15%, giving us a decent play off the bounce. So we're watching ONCS, PALI, and ASND, because those are the ones that had the biggest dramatic dump to the downside. And we could see a nice little rejection from support and a pop back up. Here's your most active tickers. And one of the reasons why we pay attention to activity is because, especially playing the derivative side of the house, and even with shares, right, we want to be able to slide in and out, especially if we are trading. Now, if we're investing, we don't really care about, being able to slide in and out of the stock. We buy stocks fundamentally that we like for longer term investments. But when we're trading, one of the most important things that we need to keep in mind is that we want volume. We want liquidity so that we can slide in and out of the trade. We can buy in low, sell high, or if we want to go ahead and buy in high and sell low on the short side of the house. But we got to be able to slide in and out, and that comes with the volume, and that comes with price action that goes in the favor of our particular trade. And here's your top trending stocks that are on people's watch lists. We're going to follow up on some of these charts here in a moment. AMC, of course, we're paying attention to that. We got MRK. We got SNC. Dino is starting to kick around again. CVX, of course, we got some of those energy plays. And IBM and NTST starting to hit some of the things. So we'll pay attention to some of these charts, see if we can get a decent trade, and see if we get a little bit of a push going into the market closing out this week. Stocks I like. Go ahead and kick it off with SPY. We're looking at SPY kind of getting tight. It's starting to push like it did on Friday. However, we noticed that the volume decreased today. That usually tells me that we're hitting some buyer's exhaustion. Even though we're pushing to the upside, profit taking is going to start happening. So we got a call trigger at 411.50, and we got our put trigger at 409.50. We're looking to see which direction we're going to go with the general sentiment, and we'll go ahead and pull the trigger at that particular time when that bell rings, and we'll see if we can get a trade off of SPY. Here's Snow. I like these triggers right here. We're looking for calls above 153, and we're looking for puts below 145. Excuse me. We can call that 146. Actually, it's like 145.94 when I charted it, but we'll call it 146. However, if we start to lose that short moving average, right, and start to close below that, I think we can get a high probability trade for some down trending pressure where we can get in earlier and follow it down to go retest that 146, 145 area. So we'll be paying attention for this one when the bell rings tomorrow. And with that said, let's go ahead and put out one of those patented free trade alerts that we love to do on Traders War Room. I'm only interested really in Snow if we start triggering to the downside. So if we lose our moving averages, this is the trade I'm going to look for in Snow. That 145 put pushing out until April 14th. Got to give ourselves some time, and hopefully we can catch this price at the bid or below. I'm really eyeballing like 275 is what I would really like to get in this trade, especially if we're able to get that downward pressure. But somewhere between 275 and 3 wouldn't be a bad area to get in this trade, but we got to make sure we get confirmation that we lost the moving average, and it looks, probability wise, it looks high probability of success for continued pressure to the downside. So we'll have to play this one by the ear when we hit that bell tomorrow and see how the general sentiment is playing off of all these tech names. And if we get the bearish type of sentiment, we'll go ahead and pull the trigger and hopefully make some money off of this trade. We're watching MRK. We like MRK above 109.50 for calls to the upside and below 108 for puts to the downside. We got some room that we can go on both sides of these houses. I got a feeling, though, we're probably going to be looking for a little bit more of a retest to the upside with probably some rejection, and we'll end up cooling back down to the downside. So I would be watching this one. We had kind of a big push going into today. I'd expect a little bit of a cool down. I don't think we got the pressure in this one currently to keep this going. So I think that we, like I said, might push to the upside, but we'll probably find resistance and reject fairly quickly, and we'll start to slide back to the downside, and we can probably catch that continuation into 108 and maybe possibly through. And finally, IBM. We're digging IBM right now. We like calls above that 132.75 area, and we like puts below the 131.50 area. IBM has been trending pretty hard. This isn't a fast mover, but if we start to get another break leg to the upside, this will probably go. It has a lot of steam behind it right now, especially with the Semiconductor and Chip Act and all that stuff. So I do like IBM for potential to the upside. However, again, this will go with the general sentiment, and if we start to get kind of a bearish sentiment, we'll probably get the high probability of cool down pressure to the downside, where we can catch a nice maybe $1 to $2 move to the downside before we start to hit into some support where we could get that rejection to the upside. Activate your 2-day trial of TWR All Access on the Discord platform. We cover it all at Traders War Room, whether you're looking for stocks, options, futures, Forex, crypto, or even sports betting, or you want real-time alerts, live trading, algo signals, or even if you just want to be part of a community of like-minded investors to grow, learn, and share together as a team. Something for everyone at Traders War Room. Activate your 2-day trial today and go to war with TWR. The market is our war zone and stocks are the battle. Join TWR and let's go to war. Make the market bend the knee in 2023. Join Traders War Room and bow to no one. Let's go to war.